Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3DXL podcast. My name is Ray. You can find me over on Twitter and Twitch at RAY200123. And if you haven't already, please comment, like, and subscribe as it helps us encourages us to put more content out there for sure. With me, fresh off his first solo recap of SummerSlam, the former unavailable try again, D. D, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. You did surprise me when you, as far as put out the SummerSlam recap. We didn't get to that, and I was a little disappointed that we didn't get a chance to do it because I was working, and I know you've been busy as well. But I was pretty happy that you actually surprised me. And I was actually I did enjoy the recap. It was really well done. But any thoughts on your first solo recap?
I appreciate the kind words, and yeah, I just wanted to put something out. We didn't have a chance to do the SummerSlam right away, but I did want to give the people something because, I mean, it's nice to have a little recap of it. But I will tell you this: after doing a solo one, I appreciated the work that you put in before. Oh boy, do I appreciate the work that you put in now? Because I tried to do all the slides and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit ain't for me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I mean, I appreciate you
If
from,
I had
let's
to
say,
do the
from your
slides, they
standpoint.
wouldn't
Yeah.
be having that. Yeah, they wouldn't have had a SummerSlam recap if I had to put those slides in.
No, I mean I appreciate you saying that. Like it is time consuming. We try to do our best to recap for those who want to watch as far as prediction show, as far as our thoughts on what happened, what took place, which we're going to do in just a moment because we have a lot to get into. But yeah, I do
You
want to take.
guys couldn't tell I don't do the slides and stuff. All of that's Ray. I just come over here and I run my mouth.
Yeah,
That's about it.
I put the pretty pictures and D just reacts to the stupid shit that I say. But anyway, we'll go as far as into the pay per view overall. It was on as far as August 27th, 2023. All in did break AEW All In did break as far as the all time attendance record at 81,035 in paid tickets. Visually, man, it looked awesome in London, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was early, but the
Yeah.
crowd was excellent for the most part. But like, what were your thoughts when I mean, I know it was a little bit tarped off, but I mean that stadium can hold up to 90 something thousand people, but it was 81,000 still. Very impressive feat by AEW. They should be proud of what they did. However, regardless of what took place in the back, which we will get to in just a second, what were your thoughts on the London crowd?
It were, like I said before, they were gonna cheer for everything because they're star for, AEW wrestling out there, and they didn't disappoint. Everything was good. The crowd was good. The environment looked really nice. It looked like it was a fun experience to be there. It was something that I wish I could have gone to, but I'm not trying to go across the sea just to,
Yeah,
across
well,
the pond, as they say, just to watch wrestling.
well, I mean, you have to pay the admission for the price of the ticket to travel and also the price of your health because apparently a lot of people got COVID that went over there. I think Brian Alvarez was one of
Yeah.
them too. So anyway, but that's not here nor there. We'll start off as far as the 0 hour. The first match was MGF and Adam Cole going up against Aussie Open, the ROH champions. The match went 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Man, I know me and you both thought that Aussie Open would win the match. They were actually the favorites as well at Vegas, but we'll get into that as far as what took place in the aftermath. But there was a spot that I cannot believe somehow MJF pulled off. There was a kangaroo kick spot, which is just a simple drop kick. I was, I was like, man, that's just fucking brilliant out of MJF. But Aussie Open sold it so well. They actually do have, and I think I sent D a picture of AEW already having the kangaroo kick T-shirt out on AEW shop or shopaew.com. Shit, that sure looks good in my opinion.
We're
But
getting that money.
he's getting all the royalties, brother. But the finish was MJF and Adam Cole won via pinfall after hitting the double clothesline, and they are your new ROH champions. I was
Double
surprised.
clothesline.
I was surprised that they won. This was the start of a rough night for me and D as far as our predictions go. But
Oh, we shit the bed.
dude, but Vegas got rocked too, man. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know if this is the right call, in my opinion.
Uh, uh, you already know how I feel about this
Yeah.
with MJF and Adam Cole. As much as I love it, I think that them putting all of these titles into this storyline just takes away from the titles. Doesn't take away from the storyline because the storyline seems to be the trump both the world heavyweight title and now the Ring of Honor tag titles. So I fully expected Aussie Open to win. I mean, I guess Tony knows what he's doing. It's just this isn't for me. I'm one of those people where I feel that everybody should be going for championships on whatever program they're on, whatever wrestling program, whether it's boxing, UFC, anything that you're doing, you should want to be the champion. And to me, when the story starts overshadowing the championships, to me, we have a problem. And I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah,
so as much as I like the story, I think that Aussie Open should have held on.
And you've been kind of beating the table with your concerns as far as AEW focusing more on the tag team of Adam Cole and MJF as opposed to the AEW title, which I think we're gonna probably that's gonna hurt the card for All Out next. But we'll talk about that in the next prediction show. So I'll leave it at that for now because we have a lot to cover. So next match, as far as going into, we did have as far as Hollywood Jack Perry going against Hook for the FTW Championship. This match went 8 minutes and 20 seconds. There was going back to a stupid glass spot, and this is what started all this bullshit in the back. There was a spot as far as where they did bring out the vehicle where Jack Perry came out in a limo, in a really weird, kind of cheap looking limo. But Hook did do as far as a suplex on the windshield. Man, he cracked that windshield because I know Jack Perry was really upset he could not do the glass spot in CM Punk.
Real glass, cry me a river.
And that's exactly what he said when he looked into the camera, obviously taking a shot at CM Punk.
The only thing he didn't say was bitch at the end.
But Jack did hit that glass, and I'm pretty sure he had some second thoughts like, man, maybe CM Punk was right. But ultimately, Hook did as far as submit Hollywood Jack Perry. And he is, again, the FTW champion. I don't care what they would do with the title. I don't care what happens after this. We'll see where they move on with Hook. Jack Perry, I believe, from what I've heard, he was going to go on vacation after this. But any quick thoughts on what took place here before we move on to what we're going to discuss heavily?
Yeah, I'm thinking that my personality is rubbing off on you with this I don't care anymore.
There's nothing to do with this stupid title. Where are they going to go with this?
I mean, I agree with you. I agree. It's just a prop at this point. Like most titles are, I guess you could say a prop, but this one is definitely a prop that they're not doing anything with. They should have just retired it because it doesn't mean anything in the overall, forecast or outlook for AEW. So having Hook with this isn't making Hook any better. It didn't make Jack Perry any better. Like this, it helped for the story, but it didn't make it, it didn't do anything for the title. The title didn't make Jack Perry any better, and I don't think that anybody beating Hook for the title going forward is going to make the title seem, any more important than what it is.
It feels somewhat irrelevant for sure, but I think Jack kind of needed the win. I picked Hook originally, and I wasn't too confident about it. You picked Jack. I felt Jack Perry was the correct call, but that's another one that Hollywood, that Vegas was wrong on as well. So
yeah, well, we think doesn't matter apparently.
I mean, yeah, but it's we'll see where this goes. But moving on to the next thing. This is this was the 0 hour. That was the end of 0 hour going into the pay-per-view. Prior to the pay-per-view happening, this is where the real news starts to come in. Jack Perry and CM Punk did have a brawl in. This is after Jack Perry left the match and went to the Gorilla, and CM Punk was there in Gorilla waiting. Apparently, as far as the words, I'm just paraphrasing here because I'm not sure as far as the full details.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't think that I would say that he was waiting because, his match was the one that was up first on the main card. So he was going to be there regardless. So it wasn't like he was just waiting for Jack to come.
Waiting Gorilla to go next. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that's where I believe Punk, as far as as far as I know the details, and don't quote me on this, if you want the full details, go on Twitter, follow Brian Alvarez, follow Sean Ross Sapp. They will give you the full breakdown details. Support the journalists. They work hard to get as far as the details. But as far as I know, mainly there was a bit of a confrontation between the two. CM Punk did ask, do you have a problem? There's details, or as far as from what I've heard, that someone pie-faced someone. Apparently someone put someone in a chokehold. Details are kind of sketchy, and we're getting as far as multiple stories from backstage. Miro,
a lot of he said, she said stuff.
Miro did refute the story that Jack Perry was the aggressor, which is interesting because he's actually on Collision, and he's actually more of a CM Punk supporter, I guess. But he did also make fun of CM Punk because CM Punk got lost in London on his way out to the hotel or the arena. I don't know. Don't care as far as I'm a little bit as far as I'm with D now. I'm tired of this dude. This guy is like,
Yeah.
it became the brawl out now. I will, as far as notate before I go into our thoughts of what's going on, let me just go report what I do know as far as what was reported. Brian Alvarez did as far as note later that both Punk and Perry were suspended by AEW. He was the first to report it. Sports Illustrated, I believe, was the one that confirmed it afterwards. I think Sean Ross Sapp supported both as far as the statements. Then more details came out where CM Punk and Miro got into it once CM Punk came back from his match with Samoa Joe. There's a lot he said, she said here as well. Brian Alvarez is saying that Miro, as far as asked CM Punk what happened with Perry. CM Punk asked him, "Do you have a problem, or you have a problem with me?" And some people say Miro and Punk was a bit of a confrontation. Some people say it's exaggerated. It's stupid, but I will say, and I know Dee's been helping me out with what Sean Ross Sapp is saying. I will, as far as give out the other part, the counter to what Sean Ross Sapp was saying that it was heavily as far as exaggerated. Brian Alvarez doubled down and pretty much essentially said that people backstage and the main source is reporting that there were issues between as far as CM Punk and Miro, and that the main source that told him that, he pretty much, as far as advice, he didn't say call out Sean Ross Sapp because Brian Alvarez was getting a lot of shit once Sean Ross Sapp advised that it was overblown, but Alvarez doubled down and pretty much said that no, check with as far as with your assignment should be ask the people around who as far as were there and ask the source, and the source will pretty much tell you that there was an issue between CM Punk and Miro. And I think there's only a couple people. I really don't want to get into as far as speculation, but more details will likely come. But ultimately, there was issues as far as the card being swapped, as far as switched up. CM Punk and Samoa Joe were supposed to go first on All In, but apparently I believe Tony was trying to get out of the Bucks or the Elite to go out there first, and they weren't ready. But ultimately, Samoa Joe did convince CM Punk to get out there. But I guess before we go into the first match, any thoughts on this shit with CM Punk?
Stupid. Like, this should not be what we have to think about every fucking pay-per-view. I mean, come on. You're grown-ass men. You're out here trying to make money on one of the biggest nights for the company, and this is all everybody is talking about. And I don't give a shit about the story. I don't care who was right or who was wrong. This is not what you're supposed to do. And my biggest issue is there's the same common denominator.
Yep.
CM Punk.
I think Alvarez said that too.
And whether he's right,
Sean Ross Sapp, I'm sorry.
Yeah, whether he's right or whether he's wrong, you're still the one who's constantly in these issues. Mm-hmm. Like, for all we know, Jack Perry could be completely wrong. I don't care. You know, when you start looking at it in a certain way, and the same person is always the person whose name is being brought up in unnecessary drama, you have to start looking at that person as, what's the problem here? How come you keep having all of these issues with everybody else? I don't think Punk is a bad person. I don't know Punk. I don't know the entire story because it's, like I said, it seems to be or like Ray said, it seems to be a whole lot of he said, she said. But I just don't get why it's always Punk and why there's always bullshit at an all out or an all in so that we can call it brawl out or brawl in.
Yeah.
It just seems stupid that we always have to go through this. As wrestling fans, this isn't what I want. I just want to see some good wrestling. You know, and this just takes away from what was a good night. And he had a good match with Joe.
He did.
I just think that this is just unnecessary at this point, and something has to be done. Tony needs to take control of the situation, and if you have to punish Punk, and it's more than a suspension, then you have to do what you have to do. But something needs to be done to where he, at this point, is just like, yo, just stay in your fucking corner and shut up. We don't feel like dealing with your issues because it seems to just be everybody in the problem with him. Whether you're going to tell me it's the Elite and their friends, or what have you. I don't hear much about Kenny and the Bucks having trouble with anybody on Collision or anybody in CM Punk's camp. Hell, they had a good match with FTR that we'll get into later. So why is it that everybody else can get over this and CM Punk is constantly the one who's having issues? I like Punk. I think he's a draw. I think that he should be on the card. But if you're gonna have this problem with him every time in his antics or drama around him is being the focal point of the pay-per-view when it's done, then somebody has to take charge and be like, "Oh, look, we can't keep having this."
Yeah, I mean, it's at this point, it's the same repeat offender. It's the same guy and the same as far as the altercations in the back. I don't hear any issues with anybody else, like other than Sammy Guevara and Andrade. But I mean, this guy has just been having issues with it pretty much. I mean, at some point, someone's gonna get hurt, and where do you draw the line? But there was, as far as rumors, or CM Punk was saying that he hates this place. He was threatening to quit. I'm at the point where, like, I hope he kind of falls through with his promise, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think.
But this is his fault.
It is his fault.
This is his fault. He opened his mouth. And he brought the conflict to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel about it. You trash the company that people have worked their asses off to build up. You trash people who have made a name for themselves in the company while you haven't been around. You just got there.
Yeah.
You're talking about apologies being as loud as the disrespect. But you go around and you disrespect people, and you don't apologize just as loudly as you disrespect. You tell people to come and see you, and then when they do, you have a problem with it. So when is this your fault?
Well,
and like I said, I was excited when he came back. I was one of those people who were looking at the Rampage when he came back and was just like, "Wow, this is so cool. CM Punk is back." And now you're just like, "God damn, CM Punk is back." You see why WWE never brought him back.
Oh yeah.
You know, you see why he has a problem everywhere he goes. It's just like, bro, you're the issue.
I think it's the point now we kind of have to. At what point do we hold Tony Khan accountable for this? Because he's me, the only one that wants him
all his
around.
Fault.
It is his fault. But I mean,
because even if he wants him around, you have to be the authoritative figure. You have to be. Somebody has to be the adult in the room, because obviously the wrestlers are not adults.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
I think he's just holding out. He's hoping for a big payday with him and Punk, or CM Punk and the Elite with FTR, or in some form or fashion. But honestly, man, I'm kind of
tell Punk to shut the fuck up.
I mean, he should, man. But
I'm tired of talking about all of this.
I mean, Sean Ross Sapp did say, as far as CM Punk probably believes he's his hero in his own story, which is hilarious.
Which is very apt for the situation. But it's time for it to stop. I just want to see good wrestling. I want to watch a good CM Punk story where he's putting people over and he's enhancing the product instead of it always just being a damn problem with him and somebody. Not just, you know, it's not like it's the Bucks and repeat offenders. He's the only person who's the repeat offender.
Yeah.
And I think that he's better than that. You're supposed to be a leader. This is not what the leader does.
I mean,
we just spent more than enough time talking about something that was other than wrestling. It's like, come on, bro.
I mean, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I mean,
people are making whole podcasts about this. This is stupid. This is unnecessary. And I think that, well, as a wrestling fan, I know that this isn't what I want to see.
No.
As somebody who's now doing podcasting, this is not something that I want to talk about. And even when we were talking about it before, you know, the extra reports came out, I told you, I don't want to talk about this anymore. You can if you want to, but I don't want to. And here I am talking about this stupid shit again.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
fuck, bro.
It's ongoing. And it should have been more of a night focus on AEW as far as his record, as far as them setting a record outside of WWE and
first time in Wembley.
Yes, first time
outside in UK. Come on, that's what you're talking about.
And at this moment, I really do. We could talk about, like Dee's right. We could talk about this for a long period of time, and other people are talking about it. More details will likely come. There's not enough details to pretty much go into this. We need more info. There isn't an ongoing investigation. At this point, I don't give a damn. They could take all the investigation they want. But we'll move on to the card. So, Joe did get as far as CM Punk to go out there. The match was actually pretty good. The match, CM Punk and Joe going against the Real World Championship, did go 14 minutes. There was several spots. I know there was a spot where Joe, like, I think he kind of not catapulted, but he swung CM Punk into the announce table when he broke it. And
that was cool.
That was
that
awesome.
was really cool.
I like the part where CM Punk did do he kind of faked out Samoa Joe for the walkaway, and then Joe came back
Yeah.
and CM Punk got him, but Joe got him back on the walkaway. So
That's my favorite.
yeah,
My favorite spot from Joe.
right. And then there was some Hogan spots too, where CM Punk did do as far as the Hulk Hogan as far as taunt to the hand to the ear. Hearing it from
Didn't Joe Hulk up?
Joe hulked up, brother. That was fantastic. But you know, that's what we should have talked about. How this was a better match than we anticipated, and that's not what we got. But still, I mean, CM Punk did win.
Yeah, the rest of that shit doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, but CM Punk did win the match, and then afterwards, I think
that wasn't surprising.
Yeah, and he went to go talk to Miro afterwards. But yeah, any thoughts on this match before we move on to the next one?
It was a good match. I was surprised that he won with the Pepsi plunge.
Yes.
It didn't look all that smooth though. I'll say that much. I was a little scared. I was like, "Ooh, Joe don't look like he took that the best." But and I think that the crowd was a little bit taken back by that. They didn't know how to react, especially once it was a 3 count, because they were all probably expecting to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Which probably would have been the right call. I think that they should have probably done the Pepsi plunge on on a US pay-per-view. You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Like best friends. You got to give the people what they want sometimes. And people are there to see the GT, to go to sleep, the GTS.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my only thing. I think that I don't know if the Pepsi plunge, if that was the time to use that as a finisher. But overall, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good. And unfortunately, everything else overshadowed it that happened when it came out. But I thought that was it was a great way to open up the pay-per-view.
Yes, it was.
I wasn't looking forward to the match. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it at first because as much as I love Joe, it was just like, really, CM Punk and Joe again?
It had good heat. It had really good heat.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
Overall, I don't know if it's a 5-star match, but probably
no.
Somebody give it a 2. Anyway, moving on to the next match, we did have as far as the trios match with Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi going against Konosuke Takeshita, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. This match went on for about 20 minutes and 30 seconds. I did step away from it. I had to do something. I didn't watch too much of it, so if you want to give thoughts on it. Pretty much the finish we did get as far as was Takeshita pinning on Omega by pulling the tights and sealing the win, which sets up an all-out match. But I did go with the Elite. You did go with the Bullet Club Gold. You were correct on that one.
That was the only thing that made sense to me to forward this feud to All Out.
Yeah, but I didn't have much thoughts on it other than the setup for Takeshita and Kenny Omega. But any thoughts on this match?
My one thought is that I really like Juice Robinson and Jay White, and I wish that they would do more with them. You know how I feel about Takeshita. I really like him a lot.
He's good.
Kota Ibushi is losing a step to me.
Yeah.
He almost slipped at one point. He doesn't look as smooth as he did because I've gone back and watched a few matches, and he's just not. I don't want to say he's looking like Tanahashi, but he's definitely losing a step. I did enjoy the match. I thought it was good. And I it was what I expected. I expected Bullet Club Gold to win just so that they could have this, this one-on-one between Takeshita and Kenny Omega. But overall, I thought it was a good match. It was a good match to watch. It wasn't anything that's mind-blowing, but it was just a nice, solid match.
I mean, the one takeaway I do want to give a shout out to Takeshita was that one spot where Ibushi was setting up, I believe, for the trigger, and just Takeshita just jumped up and kneed this dude. I mean, he might have knocked his tooth out where he might look like Tanahashi, but that's just that. But this match was. I'm a fan of the Bullet Club Gold. I love Juice Robinson. He looks like fucking Animal from the Muppets. But anyway,
Jay White is my guy.
I love the duo between them and the Guns and Cut Out Jay. I think and Dee just found out about Cut Out Jay with the cardboard Jay White. So, but I love this group. So I hope they need more wins for sure. I do agree with what he said. But moving on to the next match, we did have FTR going against the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. This match went 21 minutes and 45 seconds. Going on to this match with the aggravated assault allegations with Strap Wheeler, there was a spot where the fans were chanting, Wheeler's got a gun, which I thought was hilarious. but, I mean, this match was fine. Not the best match they had. There was some heat for the crowd. There was a lot of great false finishes. Um, the finish was I do have as far as the spot with the Young Bucks setting up the big rig or what was it, the Shatter
They
Machine?
called it the Shadow Machine. I was
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah, and but ultimately the FTR did hit the Shatter Machine and it ended up pinning the Bucks at the end. There was a spot with the FTR extending their hands to shake hands with the Young Bucks, but the Young Bucks kind of blew them off. But ultimately, the match is whatever. Not the best match I've seen with FTR or the Young Bucks. It was there. Any thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I'm gonna hark back to a conversation that we had earlier where you said that there was something missing from this match, and I think that because FTR and the Young Bucks are so good, and they've had such good matches with whether it be the Briscoes or the Lucha Brothers or a plethora of teams that they've had good matches. So they don't have bad matches with anybody. I think that we expect a lot and a lot more because it's those two teams. So
Mm-hmm.
when they give us the usual formula that seems to be what they do in every match, the false finishes, the using each other's moves to try to finish it, I think that we kind of lose something for it, you know, even though it was a really good match. I think it just loses something because we've seen the formula. It's kind of like watching Roman Reigns. You know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same match formula that they've had every match. So overall, I enjoyed it, but it was what I expected from those teams.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that FTR actually retained.
Me
We
too.
both got that wrong, and Vegas got that wrong too. So, another L there. But moving on to the
Well,
next.
because
Yeah.
you got to think about it.
Uh-huh.
Well, you have Cash Wheeler, who I'm dubbing him Strap Wheeler.
Yes.
That is his new name from now on. But when you have Strap Wheeler having these allegations, and you're having the promo that the Young Bucks cut, and they're trying to figure out who's the best team, it kind of all leans towards the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at the history of whether it be Young Bucks, Kenny, or Cody when he was there, they try to bring up the other teams. They don't try to take all the accolades and all the spotlight for themselves.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they lost. It's kind of like Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson, who would rather lose and make his opponent look good
Mm-hmm.
than to win all the time. And that's something that I think is lost on people who are established like them. Like, this loss doesn't take away from them,
No, it doesn't.
and I like that kind of thing. That's very interesting to me when you have people who are willing to do that.
I think FTR should go with it, man. I would love to see friggin' Strap Wheeler come out with a piece on his back pocket. Or
They should get
something.
on Anderson as their manager.
Yeah, bro, I'm down with it, bro.
He
It'd be
just pulls
so
it out
over.
and pass it to Strap.
Or the finisher would be the Glock, the Glock knock. I guess he's the pistol whip.
But you know what's sad though?
Yeah.
We just mentioned the Elite in 2 matches, and we didn't even bring up Hangman. It shows you what they're doing with him.
Yeah,
Like, they just put him in that match just to get him on the card with Kenny and
who
with the
knows if
Golden
he'll
Elite.
be? I don't know. Who knows if he has not been announced for All Out either? So man, he's kind of
Nope.
lost in the shuffle, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, and especially after that run that he had with Kenny and the tag titles, and then being the champion and the Dark Order stuff. So
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
guess
unfortunate. I like him a lot.
I'm pretty sure they'll do something. Same thing with Keith. There's a lot of guys who would bring up like Andrade, Keith Lee, hell, even Swerve Strickland. They can use more, but
Yeah,
there's gonna be an extra roster open pretty soon, brother. So
yeah, but none of them were the world champion.
true,
You
I
know,
guess. But anyway,
oh, Hangman was the world champion with a good story. He's been a focal point and a centerpiece for a good amount of time in AEW, and to just see him kind of just floating right now is weird, and I don't really like it.
hopefully, hopefully it's a better outlook in the future. We'll see. Maybe 2024 is a better year for the Hangman.
Hope so.
Moving on to the next match, we did have the Team Blackpool Combat Club going against Team Best Friends. Man, this match was insane. There was the one spot I do want to talk about. I was glad to see Proud and Powerful back in the match. They looked like they were there was some cohesion between Santana and Ortiz, but man, these guys wrestled everywhere, literally. But the one spot for sure that I want to point out, I'm sure Dee knows what I'm talking about. The spot of the night was Moxley and the skewers. This guy loves barbecue, man, and he loves being the piece of meat on the fucking skewer. But when he brought these skewers out and he was going to use on fucking Penta, and Penta kicked out and it was a weak kick, but Penta grabbed the skewers and my God, Penta made sure these fucking skewers stuck on. It's like, no, motherfucker, we're going to make sure this shit works. Like, just holy shit. And Moxley looked like he was in absolute pain, but I can't. He's a psycho for agreeing to this, but man, it just looked horrible as far as the visual. Like, I know I had a friend of mine who's a casual. He watched wrestling back then, but he doesn't watch wrestling now. But when he saw this, he looked with his mouth open. He went, "What the fuck?" he was in shock, dude. He could not believe what the shit he was seeing. But overall, Moxley's a sick bastard for agreeing to this. But but overall, the finish, we did have Orange Cassidy going with the kickboxer spot with the broken glass on the. I think it was like the reverse tape or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bloody match. And I know that I say at the end, I have a spot.
Everybody was bleeding.
Dude, there was a spot where I think Eddie Kingston pushed Moxley into the table or in the corner table with barbed wire and with each other pointing the middle finger at each other. But I think I saw a piece of flesh hanging from Moxley. Ugh. But just that was to me like some of the more notable takes. That and Sue as well. Hearing 80,000 people.
I was about to say you can't forget that Trent Beretta got his ass.
He did, whooped. Bro. He
was the whooping boy. He was the Darby Allin of that match.
No, but when Moxley went to go kiss Sue, that just woke his ass up.
Don't mean he didn't get his ass beat for the whole match.
Man, but I mean, any thoughts on this insane match?
Bloody, violent, everything we expected it to be. Not as insane as the first one. I think that the first one was funny, because it was an empty arena and the things that they were able to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I still remember the comedy parts, like, Jack Swagger and Hangman having a drink at the bar and things like that. Yeah. You didn't have that in this match, and I was kind of appreciated. It was violent, and sometimes that's what you need in these kind of matches. But Trent getting beat up the way that he did, everybody bleeding, the spots that they had, it was just a good match. It was a good match. And I love seeing Orange Cassidy in that kind of match too. Hopefully he'll start getting a little bit more respect.
Yeah, I think he'll have a nice little premiere match at All Out with Moxley. That's likely what's going to happen. But I mean, there was some goofiness to this match. There was some Legos in the outside. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, Sue coming out with the bed sheet of cookies and using that as weapons, and also Penta getting hurt and then coming back as Penta or Squirrel, and then almost fucking up that spot with the ladder. That was
stupid.
That was just that's dumb.
That pissed me off. So he's hurt now. He goes to the back and changes his clothes, and all of a sudden he's not hurt anymore. What the fuck?
Like
Come on. I understand this wrestling. Yeah, it's kind of like Finn Balor putting on the demon stuff. Look, bro, I know it's you. You're not changing your music. You're not changing your moveset. It's still you. All you did was put some face paint on. Look, Penta, I know it's you. All you did was change your outfit. That's all you did, bro. You didn't do nothing else. You didn't do anything special. All you did was put on some red clothes and change your music. Fuck off.
Yeah, the red suit was like annoying. A senso bean for him. Like he just magically revived himself. But the finish was Orange Cassidy pinning Claudio Castagnoli. So no, he's in pretty much winning with the orange punch with the glass on his hand. But this dude is breaking down. He's already beaten Wheeler. He's beaten Claudio. And the next match while they're setting up is with Moxley now. But I think the end is coming for Orange Cassidy soon. But
he deserves a break.
Yeah, he does, man. That guy's worked his ass off. We will give more details on Orange Cassidy and some more appreciation for this man because he's so underappreciated in the industry. And I know Jim Cornette's the one guy that hates on this dude, but this guy, it's time to give this dude his flowers, man. He's a phenomenal worker. He had a great promo on Dynamite. We'll give him a little bit more as far as more praise later on when we do the prediction show when All That comes out. But anyway, we'll go on to the next match. Next match was the AEW Women's World Championship. It was a Fatal 4 with Saraya, whatever you want to call her, Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. There was a Mercedes Moné spotting or spot where she was spotted in the London crowd. I believe she's still hurt. They kind of panned the camera where they kept the upper body. They kind of shot her in the stands multiple times throughout the entire the entire event. But in the match with the Fatal 4-Way, you could tell as far as the Outcast was already having issues with what was going on early on. There was a great spot with, I think Saraya was doing some sort of, I don't know what the maneuver is. I think it was the one she was holding Tony Storm, but she kind of lifted Saraya lifted Tony Storm up a little bit, and that set up a spot for Britt Baker to do a curb stomp on Tony Storm's head, and she ate that mat. Holy shit. But that was just a great visual overall.
She was pulling up for a submission move. I don't know what it's called, but she was pulling up for it's a submission move of some sort that Saraya uses.
Yeah. So at the end, there was a spot as far as Britt Baker was putting the lockjaw on as far as Hikaru Shida, but not before as far as Paige or Saraya getting the pin on Tony Storm. She is now your new AEW Women's Champion after 4 matches. The match went 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah, and at the end, I guess I had a feel-good moment with the London crowd. UK's own Saraya is your new champion. I mean, it looked all right. I definitely won't pick a fight with Saraya's mom, that's for sure. She looked like a psycho out there. Any thoughts on this match?
Yeah, it irritated me.
Transitional champion, brother.
And that's what I don't like. You could have easily, if she was going to pin Tony Storm anyway, wouldn't have had more effect if she would have taken the championship from Tony Storm?
Yes.
Like, why would you put the championship on Shida just to have her lose it, a couple of weeks later, and not even be the one to get pinned and not enhance the story? It really did nothing. It was like Tony put the championship on her just so that she could, they'd had this big moment at Dynamite 200. It wasn't necessary because it killed this story right here, in my opinion. The match would have been so much better if Tony Storm was a champion and Saraya beat her and took the championship from her. Just my opinion.
I think Tony just likes doing these feel good moments. Like I'll give you credit where you brought up that he put the belt on Shida because it was the 200 episode, and there was that push for book the women better. That's why he did that with Shida, and then the UK crowd here. I think I said transitional champion.
This wasn't booking the women better.
No, yeah, this doesn't help the women's division, but
because it was only an 8 minutes. It was an 8-minute match.
Yeah,
how was that booking the women better? A stupid title change before the match, and then an 8-minute match. This doesn't do anything to make the women seem like they're being booked better.
Well, I don't think who knows how long Saraya is going to hold on to the belt, because I believe I say it's transitional champ because I believe she's holding that belt for the incoming Mercedes Moné, which there is some unfinished business. I believe if you go back, Sasha Banks was the one that actually put out Saraya out of action for a while, and that's kind of a way I think AEW is going in that direction, which is kind of whatever. But
so then you have 2 transitional champions back to back.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
How was that booking the women's? Exactly. How was that booking the women better?
I mean, I love Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné. I hope AEW gets her because I think she will make the women's division better. But I don't know, man. This is just some weird ass booking. But I have
that's not my problem. My problem is switching it over to Tony. I mean, to Shida from Tony for no reason.
I mean, they're just hot
that's my issue
at this point.
But how does that add anything to the title or the feud?
It doesn't make sense.
Like I told you before, in my opinion, the International Championship is the only one that seems like it really matters at this point, besides the tag championships. But those are devalued when you look at what's happening with them always being tied to the hip with Punk. They're having great matches, but at the end of the day, they're coming back to being in the Punk bullshit because they're on his side. The world champion is stuck in a storyline that's overshadowing it. Christian Cage has the TNT championship and nobody really cares. Oh, well, Luchasaurus has it, but nobody really cares. The women's championship is now being hot potatoed. So what are we doing?
I don't know, but obviously there's still more to come. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess the Outcast broke up. They didn't even talk about that, but they'll probably discuss that going into All Out, so we shall see. But yeah, exactly. Moving on to the next match, we did have Darby Allin, the Invincible Darby Allin and the Immortal Sting going up against Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage. The match went 16 minutes. They did have an Sting and Darby, or Sting specifically, did come out to Metallica "Seek and Destroy," which is a callback to WCW days when they used that Metallica song. This match was good. I actually did enjoy it. They came up with clever ways to kind of utilize the casket match, where you have to put your opponent in the casket completely and shut it.
Only one.
Yeah, but I mean,
You only have to put one opponent.
exactly one point. I thought they had to put both, but I guess one, which is fine. But for the most part, it was really a entertaining match with Christian Cage. And they had clever ways, like I said, to keep the casket from closing. And Swerve and Darby overall carried the match, with Darby taking the worst of the bumps. The match did end with Darby and Sting putting Swerve in the coffin. To me, I don't think they came up with some clever ways, but if we go by what we saw with Sting using the bat and the fingers being stuck out, Swerve's dreadlocks did stick out. They didn't reclose the class.
I was thinking that same thing.
So that's just like, hey, brother, we got to get that casket match part 2. But I'm pretty sure Cage will probably say the line that doesn't work for me, brother. Any thoughts on this match overall?
I mean, it was what I thought it was going to be. It was Darby Allin just throwing himself at people, whether it was Cage while he was handcuffed and Swerve, whether it was the coffin itself. He was just throwing himself at everything. Sting hulked up like he always does. The funny part was when Sting went to put Swerve through the table and it didn't break, and he just got up on the ring and he just jumped on him like, "Fuck, we breaking this table, bro."
Yeah, I had the match on stereo where it's kind of like, and I could hear Swerve telling Sting, "Do it again." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna do it again."
He just sat on him.
He put his butt on Swerve. I'm pretty sure Swerve was like, "God damn." But I mean, I thought it was a good match. I liked it overall, so it was fun.
Yeah. It's not the match. It's the fact that Darby and Sting always win. And I understand that when Sting is there, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna win. But I'm tired of seeing Darby just always win. Like he literally only throws his body at people.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul is a better wrestler than Darby Allin.
Yikes, man. I mean,
think about that.
I agree with you, yeah.
Like, what does Darby Allin do that's impressive?
Although, granted, I'll give Darby. I don't think even Logan Paul will do some of the crazy shit that Darby does, like handcuffing him his back.
Because you don't have to.
And drop kicking people with his head. But anyway,
you don't have to.
I know you don't, man.
He doesn't. All that does is go back into him just throwing himself at people. He's not wrestling. Yeah. He's literally just taking his body and just chucking himself at people.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was an okay match. Well, it was good. I liked it. I thought it was fun, but I don't know. Darby, I'm gonna give him 2 years until he's like done. So, yeah,
I don't care.
We'll see how invincible he is. But moving on to the next match, we did have Chris Jericho go against Will Ospreay. It was pretty much just a singles match. There was one spot Ospreay took that I just could not believe he agreed to, where he took this German suplex on the apron, the outside apron. Oh my! And he landed on his fucking neck, like Jesus. After all that conversation that Jericho told him, you don't have to take these dangerous bumps, and he agrees to do this. It didn't do much for him, but overall, that match went 14 minutes and 55 seconds. It was a decent match. Ospreay did pin Jericho after hitting the Hidden Blade and the Stormbreaker twice, and he did win. There was, as far as a little bit of, I guess Jericho was just kind of upset that he lost the match and kind of pushed Sammy Guevara out of the way, even though Sammy tried his best to help him using the bat while he was in the walls. Jericho, referring to Will Ospreay. But this match was okay. Jericho loses. Will Ospreay won in his home country. Good for him. Good showcase for him in front of his home country and his family and friends. It was a decent match, but any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, like you said, decent match. It was what I thought it was going to be. I actually am glad that Will Ospreay, because he's probably not going to sign with AEW, but I am glad that we get to see him in AEW, and I think that Tony is doing good by him. So
yeah, good showcase.
I'm happy to see Will. Yeah, I'm happy to see Will. Anytime I can see Will Ospreay wrestle, I'm happy.
Yeah, fantastic wrestler. Wherever he goes, he will definitely get paid for sure. He's gonna make money.
Yeah, he gets it, bruv.
He can get that money, bruv. All right, moving on to the next match, and I forgot about this one after the Jericho match. We did have, as far as the House of Black going against the Acclaim for the AEW World Trios Championship. This match went 10 minutes and 50 seconds. It did start off with the House of Black paying tribute to Bray Wyatt coming out with the lantern. That was a
Yeah,
nice
that
little
was cool.
touching thing that they did for him. But ultimately,
And not to cut you off, I am happy that the announcers also talked about it.
yes.
Like that's one thing that I do appreciate about AEW. They don't look at it as AEW or WWE lore. They look at it as wrestling lore, and they respect and love
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And they talk about everybody, especially when you have these tragic moments. And I do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's yeah, Bray Wyatt gone too soon at 36, but I was happy they did that for him. But I mean, yeah, but at the end, the acclaim pinned Brody Lee and they ended up being the new Trios champion. I I mean, I don't understand why the House of Black kept agreeing to these matchups, but they won. They did unveil new Trios titles for them, which are in pink. I won't repeat what Dee said, but they were horrible looking belts. I did like the little scissor part though on the belts, but anyway, I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I think the acclaim is definitely over. They've been over for a while, but I'm kind of glad the House of Black lost here because they got to use more of Malachi Black more, and who knows what's going on with Brody Lee. That's another story as well. But I think these guys don't break up House of Black, but they should utilize them more often for sure. But any thoughts on the match overall?
I mean, I'll just say that I think that all of these belts are ugly. I'm not. I mean, not just them. I think that MJF's belt is ugly as well. His title is
The Triple
ugly
B.
because I mean, yeah, it's a title for a reason. If you're gonna change the plates, that's one thing. I don't think that the strap should change every time somebody new has it. So I'm not a fan of that. That's me personally. I believe that the titles look a certain way for a reason, and that's how it's supposed to be. When you start changing the colors and you start changing the design every year, now it just becomes a gimmick. You know, every champion should yes, the plate should change, but the title shouldn't constantly change.
I mean,
Just my opinion. I mean, if you don't agree with me, that's your right, but not you. I'm just speaking in
no, I
general. If
know.
people don't agree with
I
me,
think it's a waste of money in
that's
my
your right.
opinion. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, it's
waste.
just it's stupid. It doesn't add anything to the title itself.
It doesn't.
But overall, I thought the match was good. I thought it made Brody King look a little. It looks made him look strong, but still, it's like, oh, you kicked out at one after the first one, and then the second one just put you down. Like
They
really?
did the same
Maybe kick out
spot.
one more time. Yeah, exactly. If it didn't hurt you the first time, why did it hurt you this time?
They got me that time, brother.
Like,
I don't know, man. Fuck.
yeah. So, I mean, overall, it was a decent match. I'm not mad that they won.
Yeah.
I like the Acclaim after watching them, really develop on Dark and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, overall, it was a decent match. I enjoyed it. I guess Daddy Ass is back and go for it, champ.
Well, I mean, we'll see where they go with this, and I don't know how long they're gonna hold on to the belts, but I mean, lately it's been hot potato titles left and right. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where they go with this. Anyway, moving on to the main.
Maybe it'll be the Ass Boys and Juice Robinson
That's
that dethrones them.
probably then may go down that route, but only time will tell. But yeah,
I like the Guns, so
love Bullet Club Gold for sure. Yeah,
well, I like the Guns even without Bullet Club Gold. I still think the way they came out for that title match with FTR was dope. To many men,
mm-hmm.
and the
Oh,
camera just panning around them.
yeah,
That was
no,
awesome.
and freaking the animal, the Muppet behind them too, referring to Juice Robinson, rock hard.
So I'm with them.
Main event time, all in. Your all in main event as far as with MGF and Adam Cole going for the AEW World Championship here. This match went 29 minutes. It was a good match. I really enjoyed it. We did have, as far as MJF come out to the devil entrance. I mean, he came out on that throne. That's a cool entrance they came out with to, as far as MJF. This guy, it's working, man. Him being the disingenuous babyface and the crowd being right behind him. He was the babyface in this match. I mean, they did. It kind of started off. I agree with Alvarez what he said when he pretty much said this kind of started off like a big indie fest where they both put on the "Better Than You, Baby" shirt, and then you could tell the match started once MJF tore off the shirt off of, or Adam Cole tore off the shirt off of MJF. But I mean, there was a lot of great spots here. I do remember MJF doing the suicide spot on his own on Adam Cole,
Yeah,
who Adam Cole
looked
actually
shocked after
inspired.
he hit it.
Exactly, when Adam Cole was the one that kind of made him, or kind of inspired him to do the suicide dive, and he actually hit it. But I think he's pretty much hit it every single time. He hasn't missed, but I mean, I love as far as the new things that he's trying, but it's working at the moment. There was, as far as going into more into the match, the double clothesline spot where they both, I think they ducked the clothesline a couple times and they finally hit on each other, and this ended up as a draw. Um, and the referee, I mean, the fans were shocked when that happened. You could tell they all got up like, what the hell? And Adam Cole got the mic once Justin Roberts announced that it was a draw. Cole got the microphone, pretty much looked at MJF and said, "No, we need 5 more minutes." And MJF, I believe, Cole asked for the 5 more minutes, and MJF said, "No, we need to wrestle until we have a fucking winner." And this crowd lost their mind when he said that. At the end, there was, as far as the spot where the referee took it was the Panama Sunrise. It was
Yeah,
Bryce. He took. I mean,
Bryce
he took that.
Remsburg for fucking champion, bro.
Like a champ, brother. I mean, he went forward with it, but holy shit. And there was a spot where, as far as Adam Cole getting the belt, the AEW title, I think Roderick Strong was the one that handed it to him. Told him, "I'm your best friend. Do it." Cole threw the belt away, did not do the spot. He gets rolled up by MJF. MJF wins and wins the match via pinfall. At the end, there was, as far as a spot where MJF is trying to console Adam Cole and say, "Hey, we still got these ROH titles." Cole is still, like, really, as far as in disbelief and upset that he throws away the ROH title. MJF sees that, realizes or starts thinking that Adam Cole only cares about the AEW title. He pretty much started saying, like, "I should have known better. I'm an idiot." Gives him the belt, turns his back. Adam Cole gets up, holds the belt, is ready. He pretty much just, MJF tells him, "Go ahead, get it over with." Roderick Strong comes back running from the entrance,
awesome.
tells him, he just starts yelling, "I'm your best friend, do it." And Adam Cole doesn't do it. He does not hit him with the belt. He throws the belt away. Roderick Strong gets off the apron. The Kingdom consoles him, and then we have a hug it out. The friendship continues. I thought this was a great finish. We both predicted MJF would win. You predicted Adam Cole would turn on MJF. I predicted that this friendship would continue. And I think it was the right finish for now. Short term, but long term, this was not the right call, man. I'm starting to realize that now. And I think Dee knows what I'm referring to. But, I mean, the friendship continues for now.
Welcome to the club.
It was a great spot. It was a great feel-good
Crossed
moment.
the line
But,
over.
man,
Don't try to walk back over. You crossed the line.
but the buddies are ROH title champions. Now we have the two of them going it all out with no AEW champion. And I'm sorry, with no AEW championship at All Out. That is stupid, but that's just me. Anyway, the crowd was great.
No. It's not just you. You're coming around. Don't try to gloss over the shit.
Okay, go
Because
ahead.
I've been saying forever that that world championship is not the focal point of this.
Oh.
They put it to the back burner. It's the point of dissension, but it's not the actual point of the feud. And when you have your championship out there, to me, it should always feel like the most important thing on the card or in the company. Everybody should want a shot at that championship. There has been no one since Adam Cole and MJF have started the storyline to say, "I want this championship. I want to be the champion. I want to fight for it." You don't have anybody doing that. The story has overshadowed the championship to the point where it's like the championship doesn't even matter. And in my opinion, that should never happen in a company. So as much as I love the story, it doesn't need the championship except for the dissension, which you could have had somebody win and break them up later. You know, MJF or Adam Cole could have won it, and whoever you're going to have turn could be the one, chasing. But at the moment, who cares about the title? They only care about the title when it's time for a pay-per-view. And even now you have All Out coming in. Where's the care for the title? The Ring of Honor titles are on the line. They're having a qualifying tournament for the no, what is it, a battle royal or something like
Battle
that
Royale, yeah.
for the tag titles. You're having an eliminator for the world championship, but who cares? When you see Moxley going for the international title over the world heavyweight championship, that kind of tells you where things are in the pecking order. Nobody but Adam Cole is focusing on the championship, and even he's not focusing on it to an extent of where he should. Yes, he cried after he lost. He was all distraught. But when else does he care? Nobody cares about it. And this is the one thing that I've been saying for a long time. As much as I love the story, the championship is not the focal point, and I don't understand how you have your world championship playing second fiddle to a story. It's kind of like WWE and the Intercontinental Championship. Nobody cares as much about the World Championship or Roman's Championship as they do about the Intercontinental Championship. They care about the Bloodline story. Nobody cares about the title. Seth Rollins got a complimentary title that basically says, hey, yeah, we can't beat Roman, so we have to create this title. MJF is sitting here. You don't care about nobody cares about who's winning that title. They care about the story and them hugging it out. The AEW Women's Championship is being hot potatoed. Nobody cares about Luchasaurus and Christian Cage and what's happening with that. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I agree with you, man. I think the ROH title with Adam Cole and MJF being together is kind of detrimental to the AEW Championship. I agree.
Like, you don't need to have your main title, your big boy title, wrapped up in a story where the title is second fiddle and nobody, and I mean nobody, is trying to go out and get this title. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what bothers me the most. You have all of these guys, whether it be Jericho, Omega, Page, Starks, Punk apparently has his own title, so he don't really give a shit. Miro, Hobbs, Swerve. You have all of these people here who are here to be the best, quote unquote, but none of them are trying to get the title.
Yeah.
Why is it that the storylines are all overshadowing your world championship, but you have a good story being told where your international title is the focal point? Is that your top title now?
Not at the moment.
And like I said, I've been telling you this for a minute now. This has been a couple of weeks now when I've been telling you, this ain't working for me. I'm not feeling this too tough. And you were telling me, oh no, the story is good. And you're trying to convince me that the story is good, but the story is good, but at the detriment of the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you're finally starting to come around and see exactly what it is that I've been talking about.
Yeah, and apparently the main event was supposed to be at All In in Chicago this coming Sunday. Was supposed to be CM Punk versus Ricky Stark. That ain't happening, and we don't have the.
But that's not even your main title.
No. Yeah, I know.
That's not your main title. That's the Real World Championship that you were stripped of, asshole. You were literally stripped of the title because you were suspended. How do you have the Real World title because nobody beat you, but you were stripped of the title? You don't see Kenny and the Bucks saying, well, the trio titles were ours, even though we were stripped of it. Those belong to us because nobody ever beat us for them. No, you fucked up and you got suspended. That's your fault. That's like somebody who's getting kicked out of boxing or the UFC and they're suspended for doping, who's a champion, coming back and saying, "No, you got to give me back my title because I never lost it." No, you did lose it. You were stripped of it because you didn't follow the rules. You're not the champion, bro.
Yep.
CM Punk, you're not the champion. You were stripped of the title. Your title means absolutely dick. That's just what it is.
I mean, at this point, I think he may, the way how disgruntled he is, I think he might add on to the X where instead of just having the X on the AEW Real Championship, he'll probably put the pound sign on there now or the star.
Man, just take that shit home. Just take it home and go with it.
Anyway, yeah, Dee I agree with Dee. I'm starting to see that now. But anyway, whether you guys want to believe it or accept it or not, that's the reality here. Like the AEW title is now taking a backseat to the ROH Tag Team Champion.
It's a prop in a storyline.
It's stupid.
Instead of the story being wrapped around the title is wrapped up in a story. And it's still not even being focused on in the story except for when they need a big match.
Yep, but that was your All In card there. The AEW crowd was great. London was fantastic. I am happy that they are. Well, I'm happy that they got wrestling. They were very happy when they saw at the end of the match that they're coming back for All In 2024. I don't know if they're going to have 80,000 people this time, but overall, happy for AEW as well that they got the attendance record, regardless of the backstage issues. And I will say there was a lot of WWE fans out there trying to like discredit the attendance record, which is stupid. If anything, they should be happy because this is going to make WWE try to go bigger, more people, badder, like Pyro. Because the Pyro was kind of weird.
The tribalism.
It's kind of dumb, but honestly, AEW is good for wrestling because it made WWE better. But that's just I agree with the tribalism is stupid. Like these WWE drones, there's AEW like as far as fanboys as well. That just makes this so like bad, painful to like. It's very cringe online. I'll say that, but overall, I mean it was okay. It was early. The paper was done. I was happy to have time on my Sunday to enjoy the rest of the day. I don't mind these like European pay-per-views, whether it's WWE or AEW. But any final thoughts on All In?
Yeah, back to the tribalism. You know what this would it kind of think of when I think of this? It'd be like if somebody in the NFL were like, you know what? I don't think that I like the XFL or the USFL. They shouldn't be around. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why do you even care? You know what you can do if you don't want to watch it? Change the channel. You don't have to watch it. You know, I like both companies. I want both companies to be good because I like wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody saying, you know what? Impact needs to be taken away or any of these other ones that need to be taken away. Shut the fuck up. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Period. Like I hate tribalism. I hate people trying to say, oh, it's this reason or that reason. It's because I like WWE. Shut the fuck up. Oh, we don't like Punk. Or we don't like the Young Bucks. Well, you know what? You don't have to root for either of them. Just shut the fuck up. Like what you like. Don't like what you don't like. Don't be a dick about it. Just going about your business.
I don't know if these people know this or realize like it's fake. It's not real. Just enjoy
They're all friends.
Yeah, they're all friends. Even MJF said it. Come on, people. Tribalism.
And you know what makes it? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say tribalism really should exist only in the NFL, but that's a different story. Don't.
And they're all trying to get their money. That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to entertain us, and they're trying to get their money. So you know what? When there's more options, they have more options to get their money. And then when there's another company that's pushing, that's supposed to push the other company to do better, even though both are kind of floundering right now. But competition makes people better. You don't have to be mad at one and happy about the other. You can just enjoy both. You can enjoy everything. I mean, It's not that serious. If you sit here and you have to decide, that's on you. You're the idiot. I'm sorry for saying it like that. And if you don't like it, I mean, it just is what it is. But if you feel like you have to choose, then you're the idiot because you don't have to choose. You can watch both. Mm-hmm. They don't come on at the same time. They don't conflict with each other. They both have wrestlers that you would love to see in the other company. When they do switch, you're going to be happy about it. Just enjoy wrestling. They're not sitting here. And when they do go back and forth, when they say, oh, we're doing this, or they're taking shots at each other, enjoy it. It's all in fun. Yep. Nobody wants to see the other one go out of business, especially the wrestlers, because you want the wrestlers to have as much opportunity as they can, so that way you can see more wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Because if there was no AEW, you wouldn't be able to see CM Punk, Hangman, Kenny, the Elite, Takeshita, Will Ospreay. You'd have to try to get NJPW. What, you want that to go away also? Just watch the wrestling and enjoy it.
I mean, competition is good. All these wrestlers, even WWE, they're getting paid more.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Competition is good for people. Like let's support all the product. Support your indie wrestling in your backyard. So, anyway, yeah, I guess All In was good. It definitely set records, but it felt slightly underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of lackluster,
and All Out is not looking any much better, brother, with that train wreck coming. But we'll be back as far as with All Out. That's coming out on Sunday. We'll have a prediction show for not just All Out, but also Payback. So it's a heavy weekend show of wrestling. So it's a good time to be
go watch my SummerSlam review.
Yes, watch that. Dee was hilarious with his,
let me know how it goes
with his Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes recap. That was fantastic.
Just let me know how you enjoyed it, please. And if you do like that one, I might think about doing some Ring of Honor and Impact reviews because I do watch those as well. I
NXT.
watch their pay-per-views. Yeah, I watch NXT also, so I don't mind doing those reviews. So let me know if you guys enjoy those, and I'll try to get some of those out. Oh, well, if you enjoyed the SummerSlam, I'll definitely try to get some of those out also.
Okay, yeah,
Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff that we already told in the beginning.
yep. Then well said, man. But great job on the recap on SummerSlam, man. I appreciate you doing that for sure.
Appreciate it.
Give
Appreciate it.
for those listening, give a little love to D. I'm sure that'll encourage him to put more stuff out there, like you said. But that's all for now. Thanks everyone for listening. For D, I am Ray. We'll be back later.
Peace, y'all.
Later.